welcome back to my channel. My name is Katrina if you are new, and today I wanted to share with you my tips for maternity clothing shopping. Now I know it can be really overwhelming to know what to buy, where to buy it, what size to buy it in, especially if it's your first and you just feel like, do I even really need to buy anything? I mean, you've never experienced pregnancy before, so you don't really know what your body is going to do, and it's kind of like, well, is it just a waste of money? Like, I can probably just fit in my own clothes anyways, so maybe I should just skip buying maternity clothes. And maybe that works for you, but for most of us, we get partway through the pregnancy and we realize, yeah, I'm going to need maternity clothes because none of my clothes fit, and even if I can kind of squeeze into them, I am wrecking them, they're uncomfortable, and maternity clothes make a huge difference in your comfort level during your pregnancy. So I bought, I would say, quite a bit of maternity clothes when I was pregnant with my first, knowing that we were definitely wanting to have more kids, and so hoping that if I bought the stuff with the first pregnancy, I would be able to use it again. And I am pregnant a second time, so that has worked out quite well. I will say not everything holds up super well. Some stuff does, some stuff doesn't, so you can't necessarily count on using it for multiple pregnancies, but it's at least in theory a good idea. So I wanted to cover the different stores that sell maternity clothes, specifically here in Canada, but some of these stores also are American or are in both countries. So I just wanted to cover the stores that you can buy stuff from and kind of what I found to be pros and cons of each store and items that I have loved from those stores or kind of regret buying from those stores. So I'm going to start with H&M. In some ways, H&M is probably my favorite one. Part of the reason for this would be the price point. So one of the pros for H&M is definitely the fact that they are cheaper. I wouldn't say that their quality is actually that bad for being cheap either. It's just some of the fits are not maybe quite as ideal. So for example, they have basic t-shirts. They're a good price. They fit really quite well in the earlier stages of pregnancy because they are shorter and all of their sizing is very small. And so I like their t-shirts in the earlier stages of pregnancy, maybe up until like the end of the second trimester. But I would say later on that I find their t-shirts are too short. So you end up with your belly hanging out, and they're just like, I mean, they're not true to size, so it depends on what size you've gone with. But if you've kind of gone with your regular size, they're just like, they're tight in the shoulders, and they're not as comfortable when you're big pregnant. I will say that you do have to also be careful about their sizes. So most things run really small and tight. So like this navy floral shirt, I can only wear that shirt for the first half of the pregnancy, and it's a small, which is my usual size. So I then bought a medium in this lighter pink color shirt, thinking that it would be good for later in the pregnancy. But to be honest, it's so big that I've worn it a little bit in the last couple of weeks of pregnancy, kind of tucked in, but it's like, it fits like a large or an extra large. The way that their jeans are designed, for the most part, the elastic band part goes very low, and so I almost find that in the earlier parts of pregnancy that I didn't like that so much. It's kind of awkward looking. You feel like you kind of have to cover that up. But as you get bigger and your belly is lower and a lot larger, I found that the pants from H&M fit actually the best out of my pants. So again, just because they're not a maternity clothing store and they just make some maternity stuff, you really kind of want to try stuff on and just see how it fits. But I would say in general, the t-shirts are better for the first parts of the pregnancy, and that the pants, or at least the jeans, are better for the later part of the pregnancy and are very comfortable. I would say, even though I didn't like them as much in the earlier stages of pregnancy, I still wore the H&M pants probably the most out of all of my pregnancy pants. I also appreciated the fact that for H&M you can shop in store, or at least I could. I'm not sure if it's all of the stores, but it is really nice when you can go and try stuff on versus having to just order things online. I will also add that if you are looking for nursing tank tops for postpartum, H&M has cheap ones that are fantastic. I bought them in every color, and those are pretty much the only ones that I use consistently. So the next store is Old Navy. This top here that I'm wearing is actually an Old Navy one. I don't have a lot of items from Old Navy. My biggest complaint about the Old Navy stuff is the sizes are very big. Now, depending on your size, it might be fine. For me, I found that even their smallest sized pants were still too big during pregnancy. They tend to have big sizes for their clothing anyways, but it seems that with maternity clothing that they go even a little more generous on them, and so you kind of have to size down, and so by trying to size down, it didn't really work out that well. So I don't wear any Old Navy pants. I do own, I think, maybe 2 or 3 pairs. One that I bought new and told myself I would fit towards the end of pregnancy, and I could wear it now, but like I am at the very end of pregnancy. So I don't recommend buying true to size there. Definitely size down. And if you're on the petite or thinner side prior to pregnancy, Old Navy might not be the best option, especially for pants. Some of their tops are okay. I don't have any of the like stretchy t-shirt ones. I kind of regret that because I'd like to be able to give a better comparison of shirts, but the shirts that I do have from Old Navy I do like, but most of them are more like a cotton flowy kind of material, and those were nice just as a dressier option, but still fit on the bigger side for sure. Their prices are obviously fairly good for, because they're Old Navy. Their quality isn't too bad. What I don't like about Old Navy is that, at least in my area, they don't carry the maternity clothes in store anymore. So that was partly why I ended up with items from there that didn't fit right, because I didn't know that they would fit not only big like they normally do, but even bigger, because I wasn't able to try the stuff on in store. And I feel like you already have so many changes going on. It's nice if you have the option of seeing how their stuff fits in store. So Old Navy definitely fits bigger. I do want to touch on Target. We don't have Target here in Canada, but I was able to pick up a couple of maternity items when I was in the United States for maternity. And the items that I do have, I really do enjoy. I have one black kind of hoodie sweater. It is really nice and long, super comfortable, wasn't very expensive, and fits perfect. Definitely true to size, and that one I would say the quality was excellent. I also got a t-shirt there. The t-shirts are really nice. They're comfortable, they're long. The only thing I would say is that they're not like tight under your belly. So when you get bigger, kind of leaves a gap so you can see your belly, even though it's long enough, but it's not like tight enough at the bottom. So I didn't love that part of it, but for the rest I was happy and found their prices to be really reasonable. You do have to watch what materials you get there. I have this pink shirt that I do really like, but I would say that it hasn't held up very well with washing. And so, that's not really necessarily a maternity thing, because I do have a pair of pajamas that are the same material from Target, and they also didn't hold up super well. So it just seems to be a material that they use that doesn't seem to wash very well. So let's touch on Time Maternity. That's a maternity store. All they sell is maternity clothing. They are full of pros and cons. They can be super expensive, but they do have some really good sales. So I like to go in and just shop the sales rack, and I just don't even look at the other full price items because I'm not paying like $90 for a sweater or that kind of thing. They're very, very expensive. They are a really good place to get bras. Again, expensive, but somewhere you can go in store to get bras. And they also do fittings. So that is definitely a pro to Time Maternity. I also like that obviously you're shopping in store, so you can try everything on, see how it fits. Their pants fit very true to size. I'm a small, usually not pregnant, and I'm still a small there. Their shirts, also true to size. I can do small or extra small. The extra small ones aren't going to fit as well later in the pregnancy, but definitely good quality for the most part. And their shirts are nice and long and tight at the bottom so they don't have your belly hanging out, and super comfortable. Again, pricey if you don't find them for clearance. I would say though that they don't have good quality in everything. I bought a winter jacket there. It's barely held up for a winter. It was very expensive and not well made. It was down-filled, feathers coming out. Super disappointed with that. Definitely regret buying that. I think it can be a good idea to have a maternity winter jacket, but not worth the price if it's not going to last multiple seasons. Motherhood is much the same as Time. Super expensive, just geared towards maternity. Does have some sales. I wouldn't say as good of sales as Time Maternity does. Their clothing is good. It fits well. They have lots of variety. You're in store. So very much the same as Time, but again, super expensive. I think it's worth mentioning, if you are on a budget, that Walmart is definitely another option. Seems to be hit and miss as to which stores carry it in-store versus online. I had a hard time finding it in-store, but have more recently found a store that did have it. So I was able to look at some of the items. I don't really own anything from there. I did find that some of the styles seemed a little bit dated, and the fits looked a little bit Walmart quality. But I'm not totally knocking them because I know that some people have found some really good stuff there. I will say that I have bought non-maternity, both like sweatpants as well as leggings from Walmart. I just got the ones that is like the band that folds down, and those are fantastic. I love wearing them as pajamas or just comfy pants, and the prices are reasonable, and because it's not maternity, it's in store if they're still making it, or whatever. But I definitely have liked my leggings from Walmart. So let's talk about clothing in general. I mean, that was very specific based on the stores. I would say one of the areas that I struggled with when I was ordering things, especially online, is what kind of bands or things to get with the pants. I wish I had a super easy answer for this, but everybody has a little bit different preference. It does depend a little on your body type and how you carry the baby and where the weight goes and all of that. So you do need to experiment a little. As far as material goes, you have the more cottony ones, and then you have the ones that are like the more like nylon, rayon, like very fake material. So the one is much thicker, like the cottony one is much thicker. So it does add a little bit of bulk, but it's adding bulk to your belly. So most of us, at least for the first part of pregnancy, don't care that much about that part of it. I like those ones the best personally. You can fold it down, and certain stages I want it folded down further, especially as my belly is hanging like all the way down. Then I want to be able to fold the band even further down or pull the band all the way up depending on how I'm feeling. So I personally like those. Some people like the ones where you just have an elastic. It's like a regular pair of pants, but just the elastic kind of insert that makes them stretch more. I didn't find that for me that was the most comfortable, but everybody has personal preference on that. But yeah, the more rayon, nylon material ones, they're at least thinner. So in the summer, they're thinner, but they're super sweaty. And I don't find that they hold up as well. They kind of get runs in them like a pair of nylons would. So my preference would be the thicker, more cottony bands versus the nylon ones.
So just to compare the two pairs of pants side by side, you have the Time Maternity on the left and you've got the H&M on the right. So they're very similar. The H&M band is a little bit thinner and not quite as tight, so you can wear it later in the pregnancy, whereas the Time one is a bit thicker and it's really tight, so it's best in the earlier stages, or at least first half of the pregnancy.
In regards to tops, I would say You don't need to invest much in sweaters or warmer layers, because the main thing is that you need the bottom layers to be able to be pregnancy, so your t-shirts and your tank tops really. Maybe if you want some long sleeve shirts. I do own a few sweaters, but like it's not a necessity, because if you wear sweaters that you already own that are open, or tie a little belt or ribbon around to kind of keep them closed, they don't have to be maternity. So you can either wear what you already own, or you can buy some stuff that's just like a size up, but not actual maternity. So I would focus most on those basic layers of like t-shirts, tank tops, and your pants.
So just to give you a good comparison of these basic t-shirts here, I've got this H&M one on the far left. The green one is from Target, and the one on the far right is the Time Maternity one. Again, all comfortable, but fit so different. So the one that's on the right is very short, Target's a little longer, and Time is very long. So when you're buying your t-shirts, just kind of keep that in mind for the different times of your pregnancy, because you're not going to be wanting to wear a short H&M t-shirt at the end of your pregnancy.
So, and I would say if you are buying non-maternity or even when you're buying maternity, make sure they're nice and long, because that's going to be the deciding factor as to how long you can wear those for. I mean, obviously stretch and how big it is too, but even if it's nice and baggy, but it ends up being short, because I made that mistake my first pregnancy, buying a few items that were not actual maternity items, thinking like, oh, this will fit, like it'll be great, but they were just too short. So as you get through the pregnancy, you realize like it's only covering half of my belly, so it's definitely not a good option. I also really liked having tank tops, because if I did wear a shirt that was shorter, at least if I had a long tank top underneath, then my belly wasn't hanging out. So that kind of like allowed me to wear shirts that maybe otherwise I couldn't wear. So that's what I would say, is that if you can get the t-shirts and the tank tops nice and long, and then you can wear sweaters that don't have to be maternity, and I would definitely recommend having maternity pants. I mean, you might be able to get away with your own for a while, but towards the end, it's way more comfortable to have maternity pants. If you're trying to not do like all maternity stuff, you can also look for skirts or dresses that would be just flowier. I found that I liked the way maternity things fit. I liked having things be a little tighter on my belly versus being super flowy. I found the super flowy things just make you look altogether big. And when you get towards the end of the pregnancy, you don't want to feel altogether big. It's fine if you've got a belly. I mean, obviously, whatever your body looks like, you have to embrace it, but you don't need to make it look bigger than what it actually is. Now, in regards to footwear, towards the very end of the pregnancy, you're probably going to want something that's a little more comfy. For me, I've had babies, both the last baby and this baby, when it's warmer weather, so I can just go into flip-flops. But definitely something that's not going to be too tight on your feet. And don't go too crazy buying a lot of pairs of shoes while you're pregnant, because for some people, they find that their feet actually grow during pregnancy, and you could change a half a size or even a size, and they might not go back. I know it's probably not what you want to hear, but don't go and buy a super expensive, really cute pair of footwear thinking that you're for sure going to wear it afterwards. Wait to make sure that all of your footwear fits afterwards. I found that I probably changed maybe a half a size or not quite. So most of my stuff still fit, but some stuff was just like not quite as comfortable as it used to be. So I found myself still replacing some of the items just because though I still liked them and I could get them on, they just were not quite so comfortable. Well, I really hope you guys got something out of this, that it helped you to make better choices in what to buy for maternity. Let me know in the comments below. Are there stores that I missed that, especially here in Canada, that you like to shop at? Or do you have stores in, the United States or other places that are fantastic that we just don't have here? I would love to know. I love buying maternity clothes, but have held back on this pregnancy since I had quite a bit from my first pregnancy. And if you're new here, I would love it if you would subscribe. There's definitely lots going on this channel, with my second baby being born any time now. We live on a dairy farm, so spring and summer there is lots to see and do around here. So if any of that sounds good, the red subscribe button is just below and it's totally free. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!